And hello everyone, and welcome to Matt's Sports Talk. This is episode number 3 on the women's side, women's basketball and the Crossroads League. In this video, I'll be recapping all of the games from this past Saturday, January 18th, and there were some really good games, and we will cover all of those right now. And again, if you are interested in me doing more content like this, please like this video, comment below, or subscribe to my channel, or maybe do all 3 of those things if you're interested. So without further ado, we will dive into all of the games from this past Saturday. And before we talk about that, I do want to make one quick note that I will be recapping the games from this coming Saturday and next Wednesday night. I'll be recapping those games next Thursday, potentially next Friday, but for sure I will try and get those recaps done next Thursday. Again, maybe Friday, I'm not quite sure yet, but for sure I hope to get for sure at least the women's recap done next Thursday the 30th, and maybe the men's games recap at that point as well. I'll be recording a separate video after this one recapping the men's games from this past Saturday, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So the first women's game we will recap from this past Saturday will be the Bethel University Pilots traveled to Upland, Indiana to face off against the Taylor University Trojans. Taylor was looking to get their first win in conference play this year, and Taylor was able to achieve that. They won the game by a final score of 75-59. Taylor goes to 6-13 on the year, 1-8 in the Crossroads League. Meanwhile, for the Pilots, they fall to 8-10 overall, 2-7 in the Crossroads League. And for Taylor, now for all of these teams, this past Saturday wrapped up the first half of conference play. And I know I have not mentioned this before, but in the Crossroads League, there are 18 regular season games, 9 at home and 9 on the road for all 10 teams in the league. And this coming Saturday, January 25th, will mark the second half of conference play with the last 9 games on the agenda for this season for all of the teams. And so that's how the season is divided up. The first 9 games are done from the end of November through early December, and then of course the Christmas break / New Year's break, and then right after the New Year begins or resumes the first half of conference play, and then toward the end of January we officially start the second half of conference play, and it's the same exact scenario on the men's side as well. So for Bethel, in their game against Taylor this past Saturday, Bethel shot 34% from the field, 26 from 3. They did shoot really well at the free throw line, 82%. And meanwhile, for the Trojans shot better, 45% from the field, a blistering 52 from three-point range, and 85 at the free throw line. And that one. So the next recap on the schedule will be from Goshen, Indiana. Goshen, Indiana, of course, that's up in toward the northwestern part of the state, and it is located between Fort Wayne and South Bend. And the Goshen College Maple Leafs traveled the Goshen College Maple Leafs hosted the Huntington University Lady Foresters. Huntington victorious in that game, 67-63. Goshen did go on a late run over the last 2 minutes, but the Lady Foresters were able to hold on. And senior Gabby Melby had a phenomenal day, 23 points on the day, and that was a really, really good win for Huntington. It gets them to 4-5 in conference play going into the second half of the league schedule before they head to Marion, Indiana to face off against the Indiana Wesleyan University Lady Wildcats this Saturday. And if the last game, if this game is any indication of what happened in the previous meeting in Platt Arena on November 20th when Indiana Wesleyan squeaked out an 81-79 win, where it was really, really back and forth, pretty much the whole entire pretty much the whole game as far as that goes. Then this game on Saturday could be just as exciting, so I'm definitely pumped for that. Should be a really, really good game. And my next matchup on this past Saturday, the Mount Vernon Nazarene University Lady Cougars traveled to Winona Lake to face off against the Grace College Lancers. And this was a really, really good game. And Angela Roshak, the North Canton, Ohio product, went to Hoover High School. And I've been to Hoover's home gym to watch my niece play volleyball, and it is absolutely amazing. Amazing facilities. The gymnasium is also amazing. And Roshak had herself a game for Mount Vernon this past Saturday. 11 of 16 shooting, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks. And Teresa Maggio, the Lafayette, Indiana native, had a really, really good day from three-point range. 4 of 7 with 5 assists, 4 steals. And Mount Vernon shot 45% from the field, 40 from 3, 80% at the line. And for Grace shot 49 from the field, 42 from 3, but just 66 at the free throw line. So Mount Vernon shooting a little bit better from the free throw line. But the big story in this game was the turnovers. And the turnovers in this game, Mount Vernon forced Grace into 22 turnovers, and Mount Vernon scored 23 points off Grace's 22 turnovers. And Mount Vernon on the night had 15 turnovers, and Grace was only able to score 9 points off of Mount Vernon's 15 turnovers. Mount Vernon was better in the paint, 40-36 in that one. So, and that was a really, really good win for Mount Vernon on the road. That is for sure. Because for Mount Vernon, and head coach Amanda Short has talked about all season long how Mount Vernon has needed to win games on the road in conference. And of course, for any team to win games on the road in conference, it is a really, really tall task. But the Lady Cougars were able to achieve that in a really tough environment in Winona Lake this past Saturday to get a big 75-64 win there. And the next matchup on the night was a big one. The Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats traveled to Indianapolis, Indiana to face off against the Knights of Marian University. And Marian was coming into the game 14-4 overall, 7-1 in the Crossroads League. Indiana Wesleyan came in 18-0 overall, 8-0 in the Crossroads League. And for these two teams going in, Marian had only lost one game at home all season long, and that was to St. Francis last Saturday, January 11th. And for the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan was trying to get their first win in Indianapolis against the Knights for the first time since 2016 in the regular season that the Wildcats were trying to beat the Knights. And I was at this game with my family, my mom and brother, and it was an absolute blast. And Marian has a fantastic facility. They are an extremely, extremely good team and really, really tough on their home floor. But the Wildcats were able to pull off the win 77-69. Indiana Wesleyan remains perfect on the year, 19-0 and 19-0 overall, 9-0 in league play. The Knights fall to 14-5 overall, 7-2 in league play. And for the Wildcats, this is their longest winning streak ever under head coach Ethan Whaley. So really, really impressive to see that. And there were a couple of really, really exciting stats for the Wildcats. One, Taylor Folkema, 17 points. She only missed one shot the whole entire game. 6 of 8 at the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 3 steals. And Bria Garber from Goshen, Indiana, boy, the sophomore really stepped up big, hit some big shots when Indiana Wesleyan needed them. And Garber, in fact, at one point, Indiana Wesleyan was down 7 points in the second quarter, and Garber hit a big three-pointer to give Indiana Wesleyan back within 4. And then after that, Indiana Wesleyan was able to get plenty of defensive stops the rest of the way to pretty much be neck and neck at halftime. So Garber, 5 of 9 shooting, 4 of 8 from 3, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. And for Lily Frazier, she had herself quite a game. Now, she went 6 of 12 shooting, 5 of 6 from the line, 5 assists, 5 steals, as well as 5 rebounds. But this was really, really cool to see. She was 1 of 1 from three-point range, and a three-pointer that she made in the second quarter officially pushed her over 2,000 career points in her time as a Lady Wildcat, and she joins only Julie Howarth, who played with the Wildcats from 2007 through 2011. And for Frazier, she only joins Howarth as the only 2 Lady Wildcat players to achieve 2,000 career points in their playing career. So really, really amazing to see that, and very, very well deserved for Lily Frazier. She has had herself one heck of a year, and I know that she is not done yet. There's still 9 games left in the regular season and more games in the league tournament, and then of course the national tournament after that. So this is really, really good to see. And for Indiana Wesleyan, of course, they're 19-0. Obviously, if they're able to finish the second half strong, they should be a for sure lock in the national tournament. And hopefully they'll be able to host the first 2 rounds, and that will be coming up in mid-March. I believe March 15th and 16th, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere around there. March 15th, March 16th will be those games. And the final matchup on the women's side this past Saturday, this was a really, really big one. Of course, the University of St. Francis Cougars traveled to Michigan to take on the Spring Arbor University Cougars, and St. Francis ranked 10th in the nation, and Spring Arbor, with a huge upset, defeated St. Francis by a final score of 67-55. And this was senior day for Spring Arbor, so maybe that was a little bit of extra motivation to pull off the monumental upset. And Spring Arbor, boy, they are still a perfect 8-0 at home this year, and they are just playing unstoppable in the McDonald Athletic Center, which is their home facility in Spring Arbor. And with this big monumental upset win, Spring Arbor goes to 13-6 overall. They go to 6-3 in the Crossroads League. And for St. Francis, they fall to 17-2 overall, 7-2 in the Crossroads League. Their only 2 losses coming to Indiana Wesleyan back on January 4th, and then of course losing to Spring Arbor on Saturday. And St. Francis as a team, they struggled. 40% from the field, just 35 from 3, 66 at the free throw line. They only got to the line 9 times. Meanwhile, for Spring Arbor shot worse. 37% from the field, 33 from 3, 75 at the free throw line. St. Francis only went to the line 9 times. Spring Arbor went to the line 28 times. But a big stat in this game was the turnovers. Spring Arbor forced St. Francis into 22 turnovers, and that was the big takeaway from this game. And for Spring Arbor, they were led by 5th-year senior Alana Nelson, who played really well. 7 of 18 shooting, 3 of 8 from 3, 12 of 13 at the line, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And she has played absolutely phenomenal these last few years. And with current head coach John Williams, Spring Arbor is playing absolutely incredible. So obviously hats off to them for that achievement. And with that catches you up on the Crossroads League women's recap from this past Saturday. And there was a game on Monday of this week, 2 days ago. Clark State from Springfield, Ohio, traveled to Mount Vernon Nazarene. Mount Vernon Nazarene with a win there, 100-48. Mount Vernon 12-7 now on the year. Clark State falling to 4-9. So obviously, I know this is a non-conference game, but I just wanted to briefly touch on this one. And for Mount Vernon, they had a really good game, and they started on an 18-0 run and never looked back. And for Clark State, 22% shooting from the field, 18 from 3, 65 at the line. Mount Vernon, 55 from the field, 52 from 3, 71 at the free throw line. And Mount Vernon had a really good game, and obviously they were without Cameron Cummings and Teresa Maggio due to illness, but that did not stop Mount Vernon from having a really good game. And they were led by Shaylin Gilliams, and if you're interested in that spelling, or it is spelled Shaylyn and then her last name Gilliams, Guilliams. She had herself a game, 34 points, 12 of 17 shooting, 10 of 14 from 3, and she had 10 threes in this game, and that was only 2 3-pointers away from tying a program record set by Katie Keller back in 2003 when Keller made 12 3-pointers in a game. So really, really amazing to see Shaylin Gilliams achieve not quite, still achieve really something really well, but near achieve something that had not been done in 22 years. So real quick, looking at the updated women's basketball standings going into the second half of conference play beginning this Saturday. Indiana Wesleyan, the 1 seed, 9-0 overall, 19-0 overall, 9-0 in league play. And then you have St. Francis, the 2 seed at 17-2 overall, 7-2 in the Crossroads League. Marion, the 3 seed, 14-5 overall, 7-2 in league play, tied with St. Francis, 17-2 overall for St. Francis, 7-2 in league play. St. Francis, of course, holding that head-to-head tiebreaker since they beat the Knights in Indianapolis 63-47 back on January 11th. Spring Arbor solely in possession of 4th place, and in that final in that final spot to have a home playoff game in the first round coming up February 24th. Spring Arbor, the 4 seed at 13-6 overall, 6-3 in the Crossroads League. They are a perfect 8-0 at home. MVNU, the 5 seed at 4-5 overall, 12-7 in the Crossroads League, tied with Huntington. Huntington, the 6 seed, 4-5 overall, or 4-5 in league play, 11-8 overall, 12-7 overall, 4-5 in league play for Mount Vernon Nazarene. And then for Huntington, the 6 seed, 11-8 overall, 4-5 in the Crossroads League. Mount Vernon holding that head-to-head tiebreaker over the Lady Foresters for that 5 seed as it stands right now. In 7th place, the Goshen College Maple Leafs, 9-9 overall, 3-6 in the Crossroads League. And the Bethel University Lady Pilots in 8th place right now. They are in the final spot to get in the playoffs, 2-7 in league play, 8-10 overall. They are tied with the Grace College Lancers. Bethel, though, holding that head-to-head tiebreaker with the Lancers. That's why Bethel is the 8th seed right now. The Grace College Lancers are out of the playoffs as of now, but they are also 2-7 in league play, 9-10 overall. And then the Taylor University Lady Trojans got their first conference win. I alluded to that at the beginning of the video. 1-8 in league play, 6-13 overall. And those are your updated standings going into the games this Saturday. Previewing the matchups for this Saturday, the Lady Lancers of Grace will be traveling down to Indianapolis to take on the Knights of Marion. The Spring Arbor University Lady Cougars will be traveling here to Ohio to take on Mount Vernon Nazarene. And the Lady Pilots of Bethel University will be traveling to Goshen, Indiana to take on the Lady Maple Leafs. The St. Francis University Lady Cougars will be traveling the short distance down Interstate 69 from Fort Wayne to Upland, Indiana to take on the Lady Trojans of Taylor University. And the Huntington Lady Foresters will be traveling the short distance, 45 minutes or so, down to Marion, Indiana to take on the Lady Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan. So those are your matchups for this Saturday, and I will be recording another video here in just a minute, recapping the men's side of things from this past Saturday. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and have a great rest of your day.